Welcome to the Startup Grind.
If an entrepreneur is not the only one, and yet they have these insights, does that mean they just have no opportunity to become the best, or can you still become the best even if there are other players in the market? Do you just?
Oh yeah, sure. But it's like, I like to look at it as like a matrix, right? So you can be right or wrong, and you can be consensus or non-consensus. If you're wrong, you're just hosed, right? If your idea is wrong, you go out of business, you run out of money, you can't overcome that unless you get bought by a stupid company, right? But that's rare. Now, if you're right, it turns out that that's not always good. If you're right, but you're in a crowded market with a lot of competitors, the profits can get competed away. The acquirers have more leverage. It's harder for you to get traction because you have more competition. And so I like to say that like a startup is sort of like a baby wildebeest born on the Serengeti plain in Africa. They fall out of their mom and they're in this sack and they squirm around for a couple minutes. If they don't get up and run in the next 3 to 5 minutes,
It's done.
Nubian vultures start circling, jackals show up, hyenas, mom's out of there, right? Because it's the wildebeest migration. And so that wildebeest is toast. And so when you're a startup, it helps to have some time to develop your idea and to like screw up with customers a little bit here and there. And the reason is so how does that happen? It happens when nobody really cares what you're doing. And so like everybody's like, well, how did you pull this FLOODGATE thing off? Well, the only people who were doing that kind of investing back in 05 and 06 were me and Josh Koppelman. We weren't winning by virtue of out executing people. We were just the only guys that showed up. And there's a huge advantage of being the only, always.
But if you look at some of these companies, and I mean, the ones that come to mind immediately are like, does Juanilo, which I know it's at a FLOODGATE investment. It's not, Ann's on the board of that.
Yeah.
But does Pinterest have to fail for Juanilo to be successful, or does Uber have to fail for Lyft to be successful, which you guys are in?
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the same realm, but you hear these. I mean, I heard we had Logan 2 days ago. And
he's awesome.
Amazing. Amazing. And he probably knows more about that space, has thought more about it over the last 10 years than anyone in the world. I mean, he has just been in it for 10 years, since he was in college. But is it a zero?
Mad props to Ann for finding it.
It's amazing. Yeah. Is it a zero-sum game? Is it?
No. So this is the thing. Like, I just don't think Uber and Lyft compete. Now, I think Travis believes that they do.
Yeah.
But I think that Travis, unfortunately, is engaging in mindless competition. He's doing what I'm describing as the wrong thing. Lyft doesn't have to fail for him to succeed. He's got a great business. And nobody I know who rides Lyft is saying, oh, gee, should I take Uber or Lyft right now? They're just totally different, right? Car pulls up with a pink mustache with sort of like this casual slacker element to it is just different from a black car pulling up that, it's like, am I going to pay half the price of a taxi cab and drive the pink mustache car with the guy who fist bumps me? Or am I going to pay 2x a cab and drive the black car that's the premium price product? But their vibe and their sensibilities are just totally different. And,
But you don't think they're addressing similar markets? I mean,
I think they're, but the point is that leaders run from the front.
Yeah.
And Travis doesn't have to have Lyft fail for him to succeed, and Lyft doesn't have to have Travis fail for them to succeed. And this is why the reason Lyft succeeded in a crowded market is they were different in ways that were relevant to customers and that captured their imagination. You got Sidecar, you got Get Around, you got Relay Rides, you got a bajillion ride sharing services. And then Logan comes out with this, put the pink mustache on the car and be like this authentic.
Everyone's a family. It's like
everyone's a family. It's like an authentic community, passionate kind of thing. Whereas I look at Uber as more of like a premium product. And I think they're awesome. I think both companies are awesome. I think they'll both win. I think that Uber might decide to spend a lot of money to try to put Lyft out of business. It won't work because they're just different. It's kind of like when IBM tried to put Windows out of business by spending money on OS 2. It just didn't work.